There are shows with psychics,
And there are shows with doctors.
but there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
And street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight.
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit.
In tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
Require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic.
and the doc. And it starts now. Ho, ho, ho. What do you know, everyone? Welcome to The Psychic and the Doc. We have a fun theme tonight. It's which Santa's list are you on? Meaning, are you on the nice list or the naughty list? And the reason that we picked this theme is because today is December 4th, but this Saturday is December 6th, which is the Feast of St. Nicholas. Now, it's probably a bigger deal in Europe than it is here. In Germany, they call it Nikolaus. And what the children do on the night before December 6th is they put their shoes out. In Holland, of course, they put their wooden shoes out. In other parts of Europe, they put their shoes out. And supposedly, St. Nicholas comes and puts chocolates and coins in their shoes. I had a friend from Germany, and he was a kid, and he said he always put his biggest winter boot out so he'd get more chocolate and coins. But St. Nicholas is a really fun character. And tonight we got Rocky is here. Dr. Pat may be showing up temporarily. But Rocky, before we went on air, we were talking about our favorite movie Santa Clauses. Who is your favorite movie Santa Claus?
Well, that's pretty hard to determine because I love Christmas time. I binge on the songs, on the movies. Every channel that has movies, my car is on the music channels that play Christmas music. So the question for you is, well, I love Kurt Russell as Santa. I like Tim Allen as Santa. Miracle on 34th Street. How can you not love that Santa?
Yeah.
I mean, an elf. Oh my gosh. I loved Santa there. So anyone who plays a genuine Santa, and Mark, I know that you played Santa several times too.
I did. In a previous incarnation. If people read my book, The Afterlife Frequency, there's a chapter that Rocky's in, where Rocky used to own a singing telegram business. And when I was in law school, I was working for Rocky and her singing telegram business because it was the only place during law school where I could make $50 in 15 minutes without taking my clothes off. And but the thing is, we had the Santa Claus outfit and they put the beard on and theatrical makeup and the padding. And I do ho 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 and the funny thing is, I had to work this one party and it was all these telephone executives, and it was in Atlanta because my law school is near Atlanta. And the more people were drinking, the more people started treating me as if I really was Santa Claus. And I was sitting down, and these women, especially, would sit on my lap, and they'd start telling me all the naughty things they did that year. It was really interesting. And
I bet.
it was very interesting. But the thing about Santa is the spirit of Christmas. It's pure goodness. It's joy. It's the magic of childhood. A lot of children say that when they find out that Santa doesn't exist, it's like, well, Santa as a person may not exist, but Santa as a tradition, as a frame of mind, does. And it's the magic in our life. It's the tenderness, it's the joy. And of course, Santa is based on the real St. Nicholas. And the reason December 6th is the Feast of St. Nicholas is because back in the 4th century, and I won't go too long, there was such a person. his name was Nicholas, and he lived in the city of Myra, which is now in Turkey. Back then, it was Greek speaking, that whole area, and it was Christian. And Nicholas came from a very wealthy family, but he had a spiritual epiphany and he decided to give up his wealth to become a Christian, and he went into the clergy. Well, according to legend, he heard of a family that this husband and wife, they had three daughters, and they were too poor to afford dowries for their daughters, because that was very important then. If you had a daughter, she had to have a dowry so she'd get married. And they were faced with the horrible decision that they would have to sell their daughters into slavery. And Nicholas heard about this. And so the night before they were supposed to be sold into slavery, he snuck up to their house and he had 3 bags of gold. And it must have been chilly out because he looked through the window and there was a fireplace, and they had their stockings hung near the fireplace and their shoes near the fireplace so they would dry at night. And he threw 3 bags of gold through the window, and at least one of the bags burst open and the coins fell on their shoes. So in the morning, when the parents woke up, they were overjoyed that now they had enough gold for the dowries for their daughters. They didn't have to sell their daughters into slavery. Well, over the centuries, this turned into how Saint Nicholas, who became Sinterklaasen in the Dutch language, which got converted into Santa Claus in the American colonies, comes down the chimney. And that's why people hang their stockings by the chimney with care, in the hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. And that's also where the tradition of putting shoes out, that you'll get chocolates and coins in your shoes. I always thought that was a really nice story. I told that over the weekend to a little girl who was 8 years old, and she literally lit up like a Christmas tree when she heard that story.
That's so very sweet. There are so many wonderful memories, and then there are people that don't have wonderful
No.
memories at Christmas and are disappointed. And that's why we are here to, yes, you might be naughty, you might be nice, but maybe the situation one was in at one time brought great sadness, or it's a holiday that you're approaching with great caution and hurt because there's going to be an empty chair at that table, an empty place in that home. And it's the first time in maybe a long time that this person is not going to be there. And that's why we are here on the Transformation Networks, the Psychic and the Doc, and tonight the Psychic and the Doc with Rock. We are here to help all of you who are dealing with things like this. So if you want to call, please call in. Mark the number.
1-800-930-2819. This is a call-in show, so I'll be happy to connect callers with their loved ones in spirit. 1-800-930-2819. So our phone lines are open. We got our amazing producer, Sierra. She's going to be working the phones. 1-800-930-2819. So this is a difficult time of year for a lot of people. Some people call it Stressmas. And you don't have to be Christian to be stressed out. I mean, a lot of my Jewish friends talk about Hanukkah being stressful too, because there's this family pressure to get together, and getting together with your family is wonderful. But as Rocky said, when you're missing a loved one, when somebody has died, or for whatever reason your family is estranged, or whatever, Christmas, or the holiday season rather, can remind us of what we don't have and who we no longer have in our lives. But one of the techniques that I've been working on personally, and also helping my clients that when I do readings, is to teach people to replace grief with gratitude. When you're grieving somebody, you say they're not here anymore, or I don't have this, and replace that thought of grief with one of gratitude, that, but I did have that person in my life. We grieve as deeply as we have loved. Grief is the price of love. And I've heard some people say, well, then I don't want to love people. I don't want to get close to people. It's like, yeah, but a life without love is not much of a life at all. And so life isn't necessarily a sleigh ride through Candyland. It has its pitfalls. We're going to lose people we love. There's going to be tragedy. There's going to be loss and illness. But life is a journey, not a destination. And sometimes the holidays can exacerbate that pain. But replace that grief with gratitude for what you do have in your life, for the people you have had in your life, and for the opportunities that will be coming. So I understand Dr. Pat's in the waiting room. So she's going to be coming on. Go ahead, Rocky. We'll finish
Yeah,
that,
I
then we'll go
wanted
to
to
break.
mention to our viewers and listeners, Mark writes for Best Holistic Life magazine, which comes backwards to you as I put it into the
Oh,
camera.
it looks
And,
straight. It looks
okay,
straightforward
okay,
here.
good.
Okay.
And he has written an amazing article. Is there a ghostly truth behind the Christmas Carol by Mark Anthony? And here's Mark in Rockefeller Center. And he has an amazing story. Plus, there are wonderful
Yeah.
articles for you to, and in this month, you can subscribe to Best Holistic Life magazine for free. So do that. You can get it online, or you could buy a hard copy at your
Right.
nearest bookstore, Barnes and Noble, or order it online. So I
Yeah.
wanted to mention that.
Go to bestholisticlife.com, and like Rocky said, you can get a free online subscription. If you like the hard copy, obviously, that costs, that does cost, but it's worth it. And the article that I wrote is for the December issue. Is there a ghostly truth behind A Christmas Carol? Now, we've all heard Charles Dickens' timeless story, A Christmas Carol, and it's more than just the good over evil moral. It could be
Yes.
based on a mysterious ancient phenomenon. And I'll leave that with you. All right, we're going to go to a break. We'll be back. This is the Transformation Network, the Psychic and the Doc, and we've also got The Rock. All right, everyone, we'll be
Bye
back
bye,
in just a
everyone.
minute.
Bye bye.
Ho, 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 what do you know? You're back on the Transformation Network with the Psychic, the Doc, and the Rock. So we got a jingle bell, Psychic, Doc, and Rock for you tonight. 1-800-930-2819. This is a call-in show. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are wondering, should I call in? Could I call in? Yes, you can. And not only do you get to talk to the psychic and the doc, but you also get the amazing insights of the Rock. And Rocky, who is joining us tonight, she is one of the producers here at Transformation Network. She's also my business manager, and Rocky travels with me all over the country and then some. And so where we're talking about all sorts of aspects of this time of year, that it's, yes, there's presents and food and togetherness, but for a lot of people, this is a very difficult time because it's like your feelings of loss and grief are intensified. And that's one of the reasons we do this show. Is this is your port in the storm. This is your safe harbor. Call us, talk to us. Dr. Pat, you got a lot going on this time of year, but
Yeah.
what do you think about stressmas, or how people get all bent out of shape at the holidays? What do you recommend people do to kind of outmaneuver that?
Okay, so once upon a time, I interviewed this woman called Deb Engel. Deb, great book, writes a great book. So she writes this book. It's a little teeny book, and it's called, and I'm like, no, she is not correct. So the book is called The Only Little Prayer You Need, and I'm like, no way. And you go through the book, and you got to wait. And I don't cheat. I don't go to the end to find out what the punchline is. Okay, I don't even fast forward on bad movies, but I will do it on cooking shows. So let me have a true confession on that. I just can't. Who won the contest? I don't care. Stop talking about the food. Who won? But in the end, here's the answer: gratitude trumps everything.
Oh,
everything, everything. And the minute you can go there, I'm grateful for my crazy, you know what, sister. Okay, grateful for her. Now, my sister wasn't, my sister was crazy, but I love my sister. I never had any problem with my sister. But I'm gonna say I'm grateful for my crazy, you know what, dad, crazy dad. But I'm grateful for him because I learned things from him. See, the minute that we go into the R word, resentment,
Yeah.
it is the number one offender. And the only way to shake that albatross loose is either go get yourself a homestead in Alaska and you figure it out there, or you start talking gratitude. I am blessed. I am able. I am successful. I am creative. I am wise. I had a faux poo. Okay. So last month, I mean, I hate to even admit this because I am actually human. Did you guys know that? Okay.
Yes.
Mark, I'm not so sure. Rocky, you and Linda, you're, but when it comes to certain simple things, I mess up. Last month, I paid my entire American Express balance. OMG. Nothing like having negative money in your account when you pay American Express, right? Put the money back. And I didn't panic. So guess who did it again? Hello, didn't take the auto pay off. But I looked at, I was just talking to Linda because I thought I had a fraud. That's why I was late for the show. I get a lot of this. So the bottom line with all that is, I said, wait a minute, let's take a breath here. You know, I'm really grateful. Do you know how many points I'm getting now on my American Express by paying them off? And I said, you know what the good thing is? Don't worry about it. I'm going to pay my bills. I'm going to pay everybody's bills. I'm going to change everything to American Express. Just going to replenish the account and do that. Thank you for the insight. It's not hard, Mark, to say thank you for the wisdom you just shared, is it? I don't know. Am I a little bit too Pollyanna today?
No,
No.
in fact, before you came on, we were talking about when people are overcome with grief, replace it with gratitude. It's like, why are you grieving? You're grieving because someone you love has passed, but you should then replace that with, I'm so lucky, fortunate that that person was part of my life. And you know, I was doing a reading the other day for this woman, and her sister spirit came through and said, replace grief with gratitude. And my client said, oh my God, that's what I've been trying to do. And so it's been this reoccurring theme this week. And then you come on and say the same thing, and you didn't even know what we were talking about. And so for everybody out there that is looking at the holidays and you're overcome with grief, why are you grieving? You're grieving because of someone or something that you love so much who's no longer physically here with you. So, yes, you can't do anything about that, but what you can do is be grateful, show gratitude
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
had that person.
yeah,
I think too, little tiny gestures are better than doing nothing at all. So if you have that empty place at the table, maybe honor that place, set the table, maybe put a picture there, put a candle, and invite everyone else and go around the table, and each one of you, and even if it's only two people, two other people there, or maybe just by yourself, say what you really feel about the person that is not sitting there physically, the good things about them, and also about the things that you have that maybe somewhere else someone
yeah,
doesn't.
yeah,
And you know, anytime you are down, there is something that the universe puts in front of you that makes you realize you're not as bad off as you think you are.
yeah,
And I've been in places and I have been not in a good place. And then I turned around and saw something that touched me and said, I'm being selfish. I should just have gratitude on
mm,
that I have what I have because I'm witnessing somebody else that has less than me.
Yeah.
that doesn't have something. I'll
Yeah.
never forget seeing, I wanted to see Mikhail Brezhnikov, and he was going through the back towards his theater in Toronto, and I was in a small theater group at that time. And as he hurried by, going the
Wow.
opposite direction, was a man with no legs on, like, it looked like a skateboard square, and he was using his fist to walk by. I did not have a camera. That was before cell phones. And they crossed each other's path. And I stood there, instead of saying, "Can I have your autograph?" I stood there and went, I have just witnessed a moment
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful, Rocky. Now, for people that
Wow.
don't know who Mikhail is, what a beautiful man. Hello. We need to tell
Hello.
people who he is, right? I
He's
mean,
one of the
talk
greatest
about,
dancers.
yeah, one of the great, I think, okay, probably somebody's going to call and debate it or something, but I don't know, Mark. I think he's one of the greatest of all times. I mean,
Yes,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
and
Who?
Gorbachev. Gorbachev was amazing too, but he was before him. But
mhm,
Miguel, he is still around, and he's still vital, and he's a good actor,
yeah,
and he's an amazing man. And you could get online and just say Mikhail Brezhnikov, dancer, and his story is so
yeah.
amazing. But to witness that, I
Oh
was
my gosh,
frozen. I
I
was
know.
frozen in time. I just
Well,
could not believe it.
so look at the three of us, though. How grateful are we that we are here doing this show and opening up our lives? And Mark, you show up all the time. We're doing this show, right? I mean, we don't talk about our gratitude around this very often.
We don't, and I guess it's because we're busy doing it. But and which is a good thing. I'm very grateful for this show. I'm grateful, Dr. Pat, that you're in my life. And I remember, God, I don't even know how long ago it was. It could have been 15, 16 years ago, when I was invited by Linda to be your guest on the Dr. Pat show. And I was still practicing law at that time. I was winding down my practice.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I wanted to go full time into this. And we took calls from listeners, and we had such a great on air chemistry. And then I became a semi regular on the Dr. Pat show. And then when I was in Seattle, I'd come to the studio where you were broadcasting the show from.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and I remember Rocky and I saying, "Isn't she cool? She's just like the nicest person." And we just, we're so grateful that you're in our lives, and then grateful to be doing this show. Because what we do, the nature of all of us, what our work is to help people. And then when you're on a show like this, we're touching people on every corner of
Mhm.
the planet. I mean,
Yeah.
wow. I mean,
Well,
how could I not be grateful for that?
let's talk about Sierra for a minute because I want people to know who Sierra is. And the bottom line with Sierra is that, oh, you got to call her? Oh, here's the thing. We mention Sierra when we say, Sierra, let's go to break. But there is a person, a senior executive producer, that is framing what you see. She's pushing the buttons, showing you the websites, making sure when we have callers, there's a caller coming on the phone. And the bottom line is this show doesn't happen without Sierra. Just saying. It just doesn't happen. And this is a later in the day show, right? And I think we have another show that's really late that Sierra is doing. Never a peep out of her. You know what I'm saying? And when you
Yes.
think about your future and where you want to go, like I know you guys are really booked for next year. I know we're talking about doing an event together. I don't lose sleep over wondering if my producer is going to do a good job on this show.
And
Thank you,
that's a,
Sierra.
yeah, thank you. And Sarah, we're very grateful for you. And, a lot of people, when they tune in the show, they see us because we're on camera. But there are people behind the scenes, and specifically Sierra, who makes this happen.
Yeah.
This isn't magic. There's someone back there, like Dr. Pat said, pressing the buttons, taking the calls, working with the sound. there's technical issues that come up because,
Yeah.
I mean, the four of us are in different locations around the country, and this is all getting bounced off a series of satellites and through wires and radio towers, and it's miraculous that we're able to pull this off. And the person that's making it happen is Sierra. So,
Yeah.
Sierra, we are grateful for you.
Very grateful.
We're grateful. And for Linda, thank you,
Oh my
Linda.
gosh, Linda.
Linda
And thank you, Jessica.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Chris. So
Chris,
thank you.
Emily's our other
Emily.
producer.
Oh God, Emily, yeah.
Yeah, and Kim, and now we're grateful because Sierra's going to hit the right button, and we are going to take a caller, aren't we, Sierra?
Oh man, we will. And her name is Carrie, and Carrie is from Arizona. Carrie,
Sweet.
you are live.
Hi, Carrie. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Hold on. So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
How are you?
All right.
What can we do to
So-
help you tonight? Do you want to connect with Mark?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this just popped up on my email, and I've actually seen his emails come through, and it's amazing because I've been asking, what can I get help with, because I've been without a job for a year now,
Well, you
and
came to
I'm
the
trying
right
all kinds of.
place.
I hope so, because I think my angels guided me, because I thought I missed the call because it was said 4 p.m. whatever, but the time zone, So actually, I made it.
So,
So what-
Carrie,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
So Carrie, I'm gonna see if I can get somebody from your loved ones in spirit to step forward. I'm getting a male energy coming through. He's connected to you, and do me a favor. Wait till I ask, do you recognize this, or does that make sense before you respond? Because when people interrupt me when I'm working with spirits, without meaning to, it can cause me to lose the connection with the spirit. So I got a male energy coming through who does feel like he may be connected to your male side of the family. This could be a dad, an uncle, or a grandfather, but he does feel like he's a familial family connection. And what I'm getting with him is I'm smelling a lot of smoke, tobacco smoke. So this guy, at least at one point in his life, was a pretty heavy smoker. I'm getting a burning sensation in my lungs, which is indicating to me they'd had lung issues, lung problems prior to passing. And I get that he was pretty heavily medicated prior to passing, because I'm getting a dizzy, disorientated sensation. So he was very ill prior to passing. It was under some form of medical supervision, possibly hospice. His passing was not a quick event, but he was a real trooper. He knew the inevitable was coming. He faced it very bravely. Do you recognize this person?
Well, it depends on if it's my mom's dad, or would it be a great grandfather possibly? Because my
let's-
grandfather and my dad.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Finish what you're saying.
I don't. About the lung thing, I don't know if that was maybe my mom's, because my mom's dad I didn't know quite as well, because I was quite young when he passed away, and he was in the military. He was, he had done some pretty heavy duty service, which
Let me ask
affected
you
his
this.
mind.
Hold on.
Yeah.
He is showing me oysters and pearls. Now, that could mean, hold on, let me finish. Could mean you or he loved oysters, hates oysters, but pearls are the birthstone for the month of June. So what this could mean, Carrie, is a significant birth, death, anniversary, or event connected to him or to you or someone close to you. Okay, it doesn't have to be about the spirit. With the month of June, unless there's something about pearls or a piece of jewelry with pearls in it that you may recognize. Is there anything there, Carrie?
Not with jewelry, but I had a pretty significant event that happened in June 2022 where I was forced out of my house illegally. So I don't know if that's what.
No, hold on. You got it, and then you immediately went into what I call the no syndrome and started to torpedo the message. What it is, spirits will give me certain imagery and symbols and messages to get a particular time frame. And pearls are the birthstone for
Okay.
the month of June. So it's June. And obviously, June 2022 was very traumatic for you because you were forced out of your house. So this spirit is acknowledging this. With your mom's dad, was he the one that was military? Is that what you said? He was military?
Yes, yeah.
Was he Army?
Yes. Probably. I'm
Okay.
not really
Well,
sure, but I think,
the reason I'm saying
yeah.
Army is because it's based on the uniform that I'm seeing him wearing. Okay, and he's showing me, let me go through this before you respond. I was raised in the Catholic faith, so I see a lot of images of saints, and it's not necessarily about the religion, it's the symbolism. And he's holding up St. Christopher, a St. Christopher medal. Now, this could mean somebody of
Absolutely.
significance connected to you with a Christopher, Christine, could be a reference to St. Christopher. St. Christopher is also the patron saint of travel. So it could mean you just got back from a trip or you're planning some type of trip. But remember, it's your interpretation of something's more important than mine. So if I say Christopher, what comes to mind for you?
Well, actually, the St. Christopher is interesting because, yeah, I'm not Catholic, but my guy is, who I've been with for almost 30 years now. And St. Patrick, okay, so I actually have like this little shrine thing where I've got St. Patrick there and St. Jude, and, so St. Christopher, I think maybe they're trying to tell me to, talk to him or something.
Okay. Let's get a message from him for you. He said your
Okay.
approach on getting a job is all wrong. He says you're going at things like a tidal wave. You've got to back off, be a little bit more aloof. Don't make yourself so accessible. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean don't show up for the job interviews. He said, but change your approach. He said, be more of a facilitator, show them that you want to be part of something larger than yourself, like you want to be a piece of a bigger puzzle as opposed to this force of nature. He's not criticizing you for being you, he's just saying it's your approach. That makes sense. Dr. Pat, what's your take?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
When I lost my job, it was a kind of interesting thing that happened. It was like bittersweet. It was, oh, okay, yeah. But I'd always wanted to go back to school. I'd always wanted to do that. And I automatically plugged into that. So here's my question. You said you haven't been able to find a job. Is that correct?
Yeah, but the thing is that, see, I worked for University of Phoenix for 10 years, and so I have already established, but after 2020, and then we had this issue with our house and everything, and so I was out of work for a while, and I just happened to get lucky with a job, getting a job as a hotel concierge in Scottsdale area. So, so what happened is last year, at the end of last year, I was doing well with the job, for the most part.
Yeah.
But I had a disagreement in regards to a tour that I thought should have gotten counted, and they didn't count it. So it's kind of a strange circumstance where they discharged me. And I tried to work something with them, try to get unemployment and all this stuff that didn't work out. So
yeah. So that was not, that's not the job. When your job, that was not the job for you. You know that, right? That was like a placeholder. It was temporary, right?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So here's what happens when we're in that temporary mode. And this is what I'm going to record. What do you want to do? Let me ask you that question. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What kind of job do you want?
Well, that's the problem because I'm actually a writer. And so I feel kind of fish out of the water because with jobs, because I have many transferable skills, but, I was a journalist for a while. I was a music journalist, and I've actually looked at Substack, starting up something with that because I had a column that I wrote, and it's my 30th anniversary of my column. if I would have
Beautiful.
continued it. So
Okay, I got
yeah,
here. I'm gonna give you the task. You just got to say in advance you're gonna do it. Okay.
okay,
This is your passion, right? This is it.
right,
You love to write. That's your world. We now live in the digital age where there's so much opportunity for you just to write for happiness and fun. And I'm not kidding. Whether it's a blog post on social media, there are many, many things you can do to express yourself like that. The other thing I want to tell you is I was talking to a friend of mine in a publishing company, and they are dying for great editors. They are just like,
oh,
we don't even understand what's going on out here with things. And entrepreneurs like the three of us that you're watching, we're awful. Well, I don't want to speak for Mark, but I'm awful at there are people like us. So I highly recommend you to do a little freelancing. Sign up as a freelancer in one of these freelancer companies. Bid on some of the gigs out there. Go ahead, Rocky. Do it. Let's
My
go.
other suggestion is you have to widen your sights. And one thing I would do when I would go into a city, because many years ago I was a performer working with groups and singing and dancing. However, those gigs only last between 3 and 6 to 8 week increments, and then you're out of work again. So I was a regular Kelly girl, and I jumped into every temporary business. I say, I have a gig this weekend, but I need to fill in the dollars, so I'll work, Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday. And what happened was these temporary jobs put me in different circles of people and brought forth the skills that I had. And I was offered jobs left and right. And a lot of them, I ended up with the Atlanta Symphony. I worked with them for a stint of time. I went on to different things. However, my suggestion, you being a writer, when you go into a temporary service, to say, I'm available. Don't say you're available every single day, as Dr. Pat has suggested. Don't be so available, but be available for temporary work and say, my expertise are in all of these areas. Maybe there's a newspaper, a magazine. Maybe there is an online show. Maybe
Yeah.
there's a station like our station somewhere else where you are at that you can jump in and work, and then that's how you meet a wider circle of people
Yeah. Yeah.
to because it's all about networking.
Yeah, it
And I'll
is.
tell you, no matter what job you have, it's who you know. So when you become familiar with people, they
Yeah.
go, we have 5 interviews, but that gal that's sitting at the desk, Carrie, man, she's really good. Let's give her a chance. So
That is a really good
It's a
point,
great idea.
Rocky and Dr. Pat, because when I was running law firms, we got a lot of our staff from temporary, somebody had quit or whatever,
Yeah.
and we'd have to get a temporary paralegal or office assistant in. It's like, wow, she or he was really burning it up, so we would do that. So yeah, broadening your parameters and getting out there, and plus you have so many transferable skills. You're obviously very intelligent. You write
Hmm.
well. You're articulate. You are an asset to any business smart enough to hire you. So that's got to be your mindset.
Hmm.
But don't necessarily tell them that. What you say is, I know I will be a good fit
Yeah.
for you. So if you go,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to be an asset, you want to change how you do it. Rocky, you're about to say something.
even if they say, well, the only thing we have open this week is someone answering phones in the
Yeah.
front office. Hey, you are the gatekeeper. That's how you meet people on the phone. That's how you meet people walking through the door. And that's how you meet the people at all levels in that company. So if it is a publisher and they just give you this menial job, don't look at it that way. Just say, oh, this is a form of networking and they're paying me to be here.
Yeah. I got to ask you a question. Are you writing now? That's the biggest question, because if you're not writing now, that's a different question for you. Are you doing any
No,
writing
that's
now?
not. Yeah, that's not the issue. I've drafted fiction things and stuff like that. But and as far as my articles, I mean, there's musicians I've been meeting around here locally, and I've already established
Great.
some contacts. I can easily start that up. So what I plan to do is with the Substack is get into that, because that's going to actually demonstrate my writing skills. So
Yep.
more of the area that I'm having some trouble with you talking about the networking, actually is because there's kind of a barrier in regards to internet wise, only because, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn and I've got my personal contacts and people like that. But people like you're talking about, who I would love to meet, in the publishing world and so on, I don't know exactly how to get connected with them, because
I'll
even if
tell you.
I
I'm going to
sometimes
tell you
send a
how.
message,
I'm going to tell you right now. I know we
yeah,
don't have a lot of time, but I'm just going to tell you. You're talking to people here. When I was 17, I was homeless and I sold hot dogs from a hot dog cart. And when I talk about that in a keynote speak, that they pay me a lot of money to do these keynotes. And I talk about that being the best job I ever had. You can hear a pin drop. You can almost feel the energy in the room from people saying, seriously, we brought her in to talk about hot dogs. But because of the way I'm talking about it and because of what happened to me after that. So here's what you can do.
uh, oops,
Send an article into every publishing company and say, I wrote an article about your company. Write the article about their company, the books. Find a company you love their books. Like there's a few publishing companies I love. And so just do something like that, because everything is energy. Everything. That's what I'm trying to say.
uh,
I'm not saying if you
yeah,
met someone for a job. I never planned this gig. This is something that showed up at the worst point in time in my life. But I was open to something fresh. I just didn't know it would be that. Try it on, Carrie. You sound like you're doing all the right things. You just may have to move the needle a tad more.
uh-huh.
Get on the
Okay.
internet.
Part of what you said,
Get out there.
yeah, part of what you said was kind of cutting out there. So you were saying something about I could propose writing articles about companies.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I got the I got a really good job by writing an article, and I don't write well, but I got a really good job writing an article about a local consulting company. And
And
I just talked about,
for the record, you do write well.
I do
Dr.
write
Pat is very humble. She's a great writer. We even co-authored an article together. I mean, our writing styles are very different,
different.
which made it was fun. Okay, you could tell, like, all right, she had, and her voice and that, and finding your voice as a writer is
Yeah.
very important. When I first started writing my first book, Never Letting Go, I had to learn to change my voice from being a lawyer to a writer,
Mm,
because I'd been so used to writing legal briefs and memorandum. It was like I was lecturing and I had to take the lecture out of it and just tell the story. And then once we find that, and I think you already know how to do that.
yeah.
And what Dr. Pat, what you said is like, yeah, pick a company, write a story about it, make it a blog, put it out, create a website and call it Carrie's Thoughts on the Universe or whatever,
Yeah.
and write blogs about things. And then when you go in for the job interview, oh, well, this is XYZ Corporation. You go, I know. In fact, I wrote a blog about your
Yeah.
company.
Look, what
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to say is faith is so important to have. But anybody that knows anything about little ditties that come out of different scriptures, Bibles, other scriptures, there's this saying, faith without works is dead. And that's something that for me, 35 years in recovery, that was something that was very seriously important for me to understand, that I have to put one foot in front of the other. The difference is, do it with something you love to do.
Right.
Don't
I
use the
agree.
word work. Just start doing things you love to do. and give it a month.
Mm.
Doesn't mean you don't apply for jobs or don't do other things, but if we're not filling our hearts or we're not feeding our soul with those things that touch us deeply and really inspire us, then it's like something inside of us dies. And you don't want that to happen because that has not happened to you yet. I can tell it hasn't. I can
And
hear it
that
in your
comes
voice.
through. They sense it. It's like you have this aura that you're putting out. So what you're putting out is fear, I want, all of those things. And if you say, I'm a writer, I've got a lot of ability, you can see it with me. I am putting that out there. I am putting that out there. And like I said, try other avenues to put yourself in those circles. Everything that Mark and Dr. Pat has said are great knowledge, great wisdom. I mean, if you had to walk into an office and pay for their services, you would not believe how much that would
Yeah.
cost you. So you're getting
Okay.
professional services here. And I'm just the 2 cents on the side here, although I am experienced in what do I do next? Where does the next dollar come from? And you have to create your own reality, and not that you're making it up. However, if you put yourself in that situation, those things will open up, and you,
Yeah.
that soul, that
Yeah.
person inside, put that out. You don't have to speak. It will present itself in what you do.
Yeah. Thank you for calling in and have a great, great holiday. Thank you for the conversation because I love conversations like this for several reasons. But then you're also reminding us of things we actually need to start doing. Thank you for holding up that mirror. Thank you so much, Carrie.
Blessings to you, Carrie.
Okay.
Blessings to you.
Take care.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's like holding up a mirror for me, right? Because I could feel myself speaking and then feel myself speaking to myself, right? About it. What a great show. Thank you guys. Sorry I was late. Brocky, thank you for jumping in there. Psychic, the Doc, and the Rock. What's your personal message? What do each of you want to leave us with today?
Oh. Just look around you.
Oh, where'd she go?
Look around you.
Oh, we lost your mic.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
did you? My mic is open. Can you hear
All right.
me now?
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
Look around you and see a little piece of heaven fall before you. To open up your eyes and be thankful and have gratitude. And the theme was, have you been naughty or nice? Well, look at both of those things and pull the best from both and be the person you are today that has evolved from all those things.
Mark, what do you got? What do you want to leave us with?
I'm going to go with the theme we've been talking about is when you feel grief, replace it with gratitude because you're grieving because of someone that you love that's no longer in your life, but be grateful that you had that love in your life.
And I want to thank you all for the reminder of what it is we can do to help each other. I mean, Rocky and Mark said it earlier. We are all really connected on this planet. We all have energy fields that are connected. And the bottom line is, I want to thank all of you so very, very, very much.
Carrie's on the phone.
Carrie's still on the
She
phone?
needs a quick question.
Oh, Carrie's still on the phone. Sierra, I don't know. Do we have time?
2 minutes.
Probably don't. What's the question, Carrie? Quickly. Oh, no, we can't do Carrie. Carrie, why don't you call in next time and we'll get your question, right?
Well, yeah, we'll be back next week, everybody. So
Yeehaw.
until then, and have a happy Feast of St. Nicholas this December
Yeah.
6th. And the Psychic and the Doc will be back next week. All right, take care.
Take care,
Good night, all.
everybody. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife.
Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.